Hello, welcome back. So, in this part, we will discuss one of the oldest and traditional method of design that is called uh, working stress design method, or in other terms, it is also sometimes referred to as allowable stress design method, or in short, it is WSM or ASD. So, we will discuss this working stress method with a simple example. And first of all, I will say that this curve that you are seeing, this is basically the stress strain curve of mild steel. And after the development of linear elastic theory in 19th century, uh, the property or the strength of mild steel and wrought iron, it was uh, accurately represented using the stress strain curve. And after that, this method, working stress or the allowable stress, as I said, that it is a traditional method. So this was the first method which was used to design the structure. So there are some concepts which are being used in this working stress method. First, first concept is it is purely based on the elastic theory. Okay, and the stress limit that we use in this method is up to elastic only. It doesn't consider the plastic range of the material. So as on the material, when we apply load, the material maybe go first, it will go into the elastic range, and when we increase the load on the material, it may go in the uh, plastic stage, which means it may get deformed with the load permanently. While in case of elastic range, the deformation is not permanent, which means if we remove the load from the material may regain its shape. So that is the property of elasticity and plasticity. So these two properties are related to the material, and in our case, it is steel. So yes, steel is elastic to some extent, and after that, it may go into the plastic stage. So this curve that we see, it shows the stress strain behavior, and in this case, you can see stress, up to this stress, steel is uh, in the elastic range, and if the load is increased, then this load this load the steel is carrying, but at the same time it goes into the plastic range, which means this load is carried by the steel but under the permanent deformation. Up to this load up to this load steel is carrying the load, or steel is taking the stress without permanent deformation. So in working stress design, the first concept that we consider is we consider strength of steel up to this only. We do not consider this strength which is in the which we get in the plastic stage. So in working stress we consider this much strength. So this level which is shown by this violet color dot, this level is the is basically known as yield stress point, or in our term, in the working stress, we will say this is the maximum strength of the steel, or maximum stress of the steel it can take. uh, After, I mean, if the stress goes beyond this, then we will say that steel uh, is on the onset failure. So beyond this stress we do not consider in working stress. So up to this stress only we consider in working stress. So now there are some concept that we use in working stress method. One is called working stress, and I mean working load, and the other is allowable stress. So both of these two are related, but here we need to understand what is working load. Now I will explain it with a very simple example. I will take an example of a human, of a man. Say, for example, there is a man, and uh, say he has to carry a load. So now we will say how much load this person can take without failure. Now failure here, it may be in terms of like in terms of body failure of that human. So this human, or one average human can take say for example 100 kg weight. Say for example, a average human being can carry this much load, maximum. If it carry beyond this, then his body or his bone may fracture. Okay, so then this 100 kg load we can consider as the yield stress or yield load of the person, or maximum load this person can carry. So the maximum strength of this person can be considered as 100 kg. Okay, now if we say for how long this load can be carried by that person, as this is the maximum load he can carry, but for how much time. Now we will say this load can be carried by the person, say for example, say 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or say 30 seconds, or maximum 1 minute. After that he won't be able to carry this much load. So it means we cannot consider this as a working load. We will only consider this load uh, as a maximum load it can carry. But now we have to find that load which this person can carry for its entire life. So if we consider that a person average life is say 70 years or 80 years, okay, so now we have to find out that load which this person can carry for its entire life. So this 80 years or 70 years which the life this person has, we can consider this life as a design life. So for this design intended life, this person can carry say up to 80 kg. This person can carry how much load, that we have to find out. So this load which this person can carry for its entire life will be known as the working load. So now that load may be the weight of the cloth that this person is wearing. So this weight of cloth that this person will be wearing will be the working load for this person. So this weight of cloth can be up to 2 kg or 3 kg. So we can say that 3 kg is the load this person can carry for his entire life. So this 3 kg load will be known as the working load for this person. So this working load, if now we compare, if we compare this theory with the steel, so now we can say that the yield strength, this is the maximum load this steel can carry, but we will not apply this much load. We will not apply this much load for to the steel, because if we apply this much load to the steel, then it may not carry this the same load for a particular period, say for its entire design life for which it is designed. So now we have to find that load which this steel can carry without failure. So that load can be say the red dot. If I say corresponding to this red dot, this can be a load which this steel can carry without failure for its whole design life. And this green, we can say that this is the maximum allowable stress, which means we can allow this much load on this steel, and up to this load steel will not fail. But if steel is going up beyond this load, then there is some things that we have to worry. So this margin which I just shown, I will show you that with the another graph. So there you can see this red line is showing the limit of load that we are expecting that this steel structure will carry, and with the green line we are expecting that this is the capacity at the working stress. Working stress is basically the limit up to which this material can carry for its entire life. Now if the load exceeds beyond this green line, although we know our structure can carry the beyond this also, so but how much? Now what should be the gap between green and violet line? This gap is basically based can be calculated using the factor of safety. So this gap is dependent on the degree of safety that is required for any particular structure which is built using the steel. So now this factor of safety basically it is calculated by many probabilistic methods, and there are so many bases on which it is being calculated. So now in working stress, in the design code, it is mentioned that a safety factor of 1.67 will be used to calculate the working stress. I mean capacity at the this of the steel. So now if I say that strength of steel is 100, okay, so now if I have to find out the working stress of steel, so like 100 is the yield strength, and if I apply this with the factor of safety, say 1.67, then we will be able to calculate the working stress. Say uh, it may be around say 67%. Okay, so then we will say that we will consider only the 67% of the steel, strength of the steel in our design. So this is how this concept is being evolved in this working in this method. So now if I write the right equation for working stress or allowable stress, so this allowable stress is also known as working stress. And this working load that I just mentioned, it is also known as service load, which, well, this service load is the load which the building or structure will be carrying for its entire design life. Service load. Okay, so now working stress can be calculated using the formula yield stress. Now I'm telling this in case of steel. Yield stress by the factor of safety. So this yield stress is basically the stress of steel up to this. So corresponding to this line, this will be the yield stress. We will put the value here. And if we apply the factor of safety, now factor of safety in case of steel structures design, we will say take 1.67. Similarly, the yield stress for mild steel, which we generally use in steel structures, is basically the 250. So if we divide, if we calculate the value, we will be able to find out the working stress of the steel. So this is the concept that we use in working stress method. Well, in practice, there are several limitations of this working stress method. First limitation is, the main assumption of linear elastic behavior and the implied assumption that the stress under working loads can be kept within the permissible stress are not found to be realistic, which means if we assume that the load will be here and this load will always be below this one, well, this is not found to be realistic in a practical manner. Why? Because of some reasons, like there may be some stress concentration in the structures, there may be creep phenomena, there may be different other problems also. Like I will explain this with the first example, like stress concentration. So for example, there is a beam, and if this beam is subjected to a point load, say W, so the point below the load, well, this part of the beam may be under the stress concentration. Why? Because this point is directly subjected to this point load, and the effect of this point load will be higher at this point. So that is why this point may be subjected to stress concentration, which means the stress in this point may go up from this green line. So it may go up or may go up from the violet line also. If it goes above the violet line, then we will consider that this structure from this point is failed. So because if stress goes up from the violet point, like this dot, if it goes up from this, then the steel will go into the permanent deformation. And once the steel is set to permanent deformation, we consider steel as the failed member. So this is the drawback of this method, that it doesn't take care of stress concentration point. Also, this stress concentration may be happen because of the creep phenomena. Now, creep phenomena is basically one can define as the continuous deterioration or continuous disintegration of the material with the sustained loading with the passage of the time. So this load will not affect this beam at here in the starting, but as the time passes, this point will be under high stress and it will start deforming after some time. So that happens because of the phenomena of creep. So creep phenomena is also not considered in working stress method, and that is the drawback of working stress method. Beside this, working stress method also doesn't consider the material non-linearity. As I said that in working stress, we consider stress or strength of steel up to this. But what about this? So this is the strength of steel under the plastic stage. So as in working stress, we do not consider the plastic strength of the material. So that is why the material non-linearity is not considered, because non-linearity property in the material happens in case of plastic stage, because as you can see up to yield the steel is linear. The linear the property of steel is linear, but as it goes up from here, steel property is not linear and it is going like this. So that is why this is again a drawback. Working stress method doesn't consider this. Similarly, another problem which working stress has is the realistic measure of actual factor of safety. Well, as I said, that factor of safety that we use for working stress method is 1.67, and this factor of safety we apply on the strength of material. Well, this factor of safety doesn't consider the degree of uncertainty of different load. Like degree of uncertainty can be different in dead load than the degree of uncertainty in wind load. Wind load may have different degree of uncertainty, while dead load may have different degree of uncertainty. So such kind of different degree cannot be considered, doesn't consider in working stress method. So that is again a drawback of this method. In the next method, we will discuss the next method which was designed, which was developed after this working stress method. Thank you.